Hello, welcome to My Crumby World. I'm Shannon Addison and this is my good friend Sky, and we are once again in my crummy kitchen and we're going to make some cloud dough. Are you excited?
Yes.
Full disclosure, I have not made cloud dough before. This is new, but we are going to be making dough and grow classes at Everman's on 9 Mile, and I just want everyone to know this is one of the types of dough that we'll be making, and it's it's a fun dough for kids. It's great for kids who have sensory issues because you can put little beads in it when you're done. It is very similar to making slime, if I'm being honest. It's not like the salt dough. The salt dough is made with salt, flour, and water, and it is the kind of dough that you can bake and make ornaments, and it is essentially just a salt dough. It is not going to harm anybody if they taste it. Granted, it doesn't taste good. This, however, we're using 2 ingredients, cornstarch and conditioner. So if you're going to pick a conditioner, I want you to know that you need to like the smell because it's going to smell like the one that you choose. You like this? This one happens to be Ocean Breeze, and it's from Suave. Anyway, and you also want to be aware that it's going to take on a slight hue of the conditioner that you choose. It's not going to be a very dark color, and I don't recommend using food coloring unless you have gloves, and it's a whole other thing. So we are not going to do anything with food coloring, but I will show you how we can use the beads for sensory dough, if you will. So this is a 2-to-1. We're going to get started. We're going to use our Penelope Pumpernickel measuring cup. And Sky, we're going to put a cup of cornstarch. I tell you what, if you want to hold that, we're going to do a cup of cornstarch. You have to love cornstarch. Its consistency is kind of, it is what it is. Very good. You drop that right on in there, and then we're going to go to Rachel Rye, who is on our 1/2 cup measuring cup, and we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of conditioner. And you know what you get to do now? I bet you know, don't you? You get to dig right on in there, and we're going to mix it up. Now this consistency is different from making a salt dough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Salt dough is considerably heavier. This is just, there's a reason it's called cloud dough, because it just feels, it has an entirely different feel to it than a salt dough. And it has a completely different consistency. Now, Sky's gonna get in here and we'll see if we can't get this thing to come together and mix it up well. Now there is a trick that I use, if you've watched me with the salt dough, to get all of the pieces to combine. And Sky knows my trick. Are you gonna try it, or do I need to ask you to do it? You gonna try it? Let's see. That's the trick. In order to get all of the pieces combined, you have to pick up a nice big piece of your dough and you have to go psh, 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 just like that. And it actually incorporates all of the little shaggy bits that are inside your bowl. There's magic. I'm telling you, it works. You have to try it. Now, this is what you get when you make cloud dough. And it's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, and I will tell you, it does smell like the conditioner, which is great. This you don't want to eat. So parents, this is something we tell all parents. You don't want your kids to eat this. If you're worried about younger kids working with this, just make sure that they're not eating the cloud dough. And that also goes without saying, since we're going to be putting some beads, you want to make sure that you're working with kids who understand they don't want to put this into their mouth. So another great idea, though, that I got from one of our amazing fans, listeners, was to, if you want to add some color, is to add a few drops of food color into a little baggie, drop your dough into the baggie, and then you can actually work it from the outside of the bag to get the color incorporated without getting your hands dirty. I thought that was a brilliant idea, and thank you so much for the listener who phoned that into us. So without further ado, we're going to move this out of the way. I'm going to go to a clean bowl. And Sky, I'm going to have you pick out some beads that you want to put in your cloud dough. So she's going to pick out some, just sticking them on in there. There you go. So she's picking out a couple of beads. And see, we've got big beads and small beads. So she's picking out a few cute little beads to put in her dough. And do you want any of the bigger ones? Pick a few out. And now, by adding these beads, now you have a dough that actually helps with some sensory issues. If kids are having some sensory issues and they need something like this, and I tell you, I have a daughter who likes to have something that she can fidget with when she gets nervous or anxious, and it actually helps to relieve some stress. Do you see how that could work?
Yes.
So this is another thing that you can use this dough, not just as a gift for a friend, which you can actually put this in a little bag and give it to a friend if you want to, for their birthday or for the holidays or whatever. But it's also something you can do on a Sunday afternoon with your kids if it's raining or if you just need to keep them busy for a little while. And it's something that'll keep them busy maybe all afternoon. It's sort of like making slime, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's your answer to the slime craze with making a little cloud dough instead. If you enjoyed this and want to learn how to make either the salt dough or the cloud dough, follow My Crumby World. We give tips and tricks about all kinds of baking suggestions and friendship suggestions and having conversations with your kids while you're in the kitchen. Those types of lessons are all in My Crumby World. You can find us in person. We do in-person classes. Check our website to see when and where the classes are. And of course, absolutely subscribe to My Crumby World on YouTube. All of this will be on YouTube, and that's where you can find how to do not just dough, but friendship and more. So Sky and Shannon are saying we are out. Bye from My Crumby World.